The greatest transformation of wealth in the history of the motherfucking planet is taking place, and 0.1% of the planet is participating.
I think we're all realizing we're in the midst of a technological revolution in the payment system.
Firms that survive this particular crypto winter will be the equivalent of the Amazons of the future.
This is going to be the biggest deal in the history of the universe. We have never seen a technology that can potentially affect this many trillion-dollar industries. Never. And this is going to be it.
We are at a very crucial time in the world history, where the world is desperately looking for an alternative reserve currency. These changes happen once in 100 or hundreds of years.
You don't have to be rich to be taking advantage of this.
המידע שנמצא בתוכנית זהו לצורכי בידור והנעת הודעתכם מלבד, הוא אינו משמש כייעוץ פיננסי מכל סוג שהוא. אתם הסמכות העליונה, קחו אחריות על מעשיכם. אור ואהבה.
שלום לכולם וברוכים הבאים לתוכנית כלכלת הליצנים. תוכנית בה אנחנו, הליצנים והבדיחה היא תמיד על חשבוננו. בורים ובורות יקרים ויקרות, היום יש לנו פרק ספיישל מיוחד. לכבוד החג, לכבוד היציאה לכאורה מעבדות לחירות, אנחנו נהיה כאן עם מיסטר מן. הבחור שכשהוא התחיל את הערוץ שלו, אני שקלתי ואני התלבטתי, והוא נתן לי השראה. אז כמו שאתם רואים, הוא גדל, אתם מוזמנים לעקוב אחריו בטוויטר, לעקוב אחריו בכל הפלטפורמות, מחקר איכותי שמופיע גם בפרקים שלנו. הוא נכנס עמוק לתוך המסמכים, הוא מגיע מרקע רגולטורי, הוא עוסק ברגולציה, הוא חוקר DLT, והוא מחזיק גדול מאוד של אותם הפרויקטים שאנחנו מדברים עליהם. אז תחגרו חגרות, אנחנו נהיה בשיחת מקרו מעניינת, עם הרבה זוויות, עם הרבה צחוקים, אז אני מקווה שאתם מוכנים, כי אנחנו מתחילים.
Alrighty. What is up, everybody? I'm Mr. Man. Welcome back to my channel. Today on the show, I have a special guest with me. This gentleman here, near and dear to my heart. We go back, I want to say about 2 years now. I want to say 2 years, 2.5 years now I've known you. And this gentleman here is known as the Crypto Jester. And we had the opportunity to meet when we came in contact through our mentor, CypherX.
Oh, yeah.
Through the CypherX crew. So, Crypto Jester, for those of you guys, for those of you guys in my community who do not know Crypto Jester, please give yourself an introduction to introduce yourself to the world here.
Hey, beautiful people, love and light. My personal name is Adi. I'm not hiding like my identity, but it's Crypto Jester. I have a show. It's the only crypto show, esoteric crypto show in Hebrew. So you haven't heard about it because it's in Hebrew, but I'm trying to really share the great work that, as Mr. Man mentioned, it's Cypress and Mr. Man and great researchers in Israel, because we're living in a sea of BTC maxis and Ethereum pirates right here, guys. So I'm trying to kind of level the playing field. Personally, I'm a therapist and I'm a trainer, like saunas, cold plunges, breathing. But when I was awakening, in the beer pandemic, so I kind of got the feeling, all right, we got to start this finance journey, because this is how they control the world. This is the main narrative, and I'm happy to be here. Mr. Man really gave me the inspiration. So thank you, Mr. Man. I really appreciate you and your kindness. And this guy is the best. Everything he does, I follow, I watch, and there's a lot to learn here.
Beautiful. So on today's topic, what I want to dive into, because you said you're out in Israel, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. There. So the reason that has a lot of relevance to today being April 24th, 2024 at 11:05 Central Time. That's 12:05 Eastern Time. What time is that for you?
We're 7 p.m. right now.
Perfect. The reason that's
going down, just at the end of the day.
Because where my man is at is central to all these geopolitical tensions and wars taking place. And there is a lot of misconception to what is actually going on. And from us here in the West, in Canada, we are shielded from a lot actually taking place. So to hear the truth about what's going on in the Middle East here from my man, by all means, drop your truth. Because here in Canada, we are sheltered. We are living under a rock with what's taking place there, because we have individuals, political tyrants such as Justin Trudeau, censoring what we can and cannot see. So we have to dig and decipher and go through what's real and what's not real. By all means, what is going out there for you? What do you see?
So 100%, I must say that what you have described is the same managed reality system that is implemented in any country in the world. So it's very obvious that we are shielded from Canada as well. If you would talk to people here and ask them about the truckers rally thing that you had in Canada, was amazing, like 3-4 years ago, was Canada was blown away, was torn away to two sides or whatever. Nobody knows anything here, right? Because we are all living in our managed reality boxes. It's like little cages of experimenting with the masses, and that's how they advance us towards it's like 16 chess, right? So from the Israeli side of things, I'll be honest, all right? So like you said about Trudeau, man, we got these puppets right here, all the politicians, all the like the highest ranking officers in any bureaucracy. They're all a part of this game, and it's so blatantly obvious to like 5% of the fucking population. So this is what you got to be. We are deep into the Pied Piper, like sheepish vibe, and we have a war every week. So basically what's happening, I don't know if your community is into that or not, but we have kind of predicted, quote unquote, the wars that happened in the last year and a half because we watched the eclipses. And every eclipse we have in Israel, something's going to break loose. So we had the October thing, which was really horrible, but everybody could see it coming like miles away. And we basically, the thing that was in October, for the people who don't know, it's the Gaza thing. This was an inside job. It's not an inside job. It's just the people who rule here just torment the local people. That's how it is in every country. I mean, look at Trudeau. What he's doing is the same. But here, the thing is, every country has its own kind of cheap way of doing it. So you have your own way. For us, man, this is like watching the Friday Night Live, this kind of comedy show, and it's like in your face. They just yell at each other, curse at each other, and take your money. That's what we got over here, man. So honestly, it's like snakes in suits, but not putting any effort. So Israel right now is in a very torn geopolitical state, which means we are the most divided country on this planet. We have like they divided the Jews from the Arabs, and in the Jews, they divided like to 3 categories. So you got the really religious, the middle. So we are all kind of divided, and you got the Arabs, and you have different Arabs, and you got the Druze, and you got some Christians. So country is already kind of ghetto ready. So you got already the places. And what's happening now with this Iran thing and the October, this is relating to cryptocurrency. It's very important to people realize, like we had in Nigeria, that people were not connected, and all of a sudden it's like, no cash, motherfuckers, let's see you dance, Cbdc. So what's happening in Israel, they are kind of condensing us to the center of the country, and they're paying people directly from the government to make their livelihood remain the same, which means the south. Okay.
So are they paying them with actual cash, or are they using the CbdCs? Okay. The reason I asked, I was diving into Israel's Project Sela from the center there, and the way they have it set up is that children can gain access to wallets and get the app on their wallet as children with the parents' consent, and they can spend up to a limited amount or deposit a limited amount. So, like, what is it just basically called cash at that point, or what is it?
So, like, this is an amazing question. So I'll tell you the thing. The thing about Israel is very special. I mean, like every other country, I think, but it's really brutal here. They don't ask the people anything. Things just happen. So, for example, what they do now is called like a social security, right? So you're going to get your social security. People get, Mr. Man, listen to this. They get more money than they made because they were evacuated from war zones, quote unquote. So what's happening now? People are just like, I'm not saying people are suffering. They kidnap people. It's horrible. Nobody's here for like bad time, right? We're all for harmony, love, and light, and we want to elevate the consciousness of humanity. But you can see that this situation is creating a comfortable bed for this to festering, which means in the end, all they have to do is be like, one day, just download this app to get your money. That's all they need. So right now, it's the same. So I'll admit that they have like this application. It's been trialed in a few places. You can see people using it, but This is not something that is mainstream, like, boom, if you have been evacuated, you need to download this app, no. But I can tell you for a fact that in Israel, it's just a matter of saying, all right, guys, you want your money? All right, download this app. And people are going to be, yes, Lord Commander. It is going to be like that, right? No doubts about it. If you get more money than you made, no doubts about it. So that's about the money, but you have to understand it's almost 400,000 people moving from their homes, from the south and the north to the center, condensing and getting money from the government. This is unprecedented in all of our history that we both evacuate the north and the south. Unprecedented.
Wow. So it sounds like they got you guys in a crunch like us too, because over here, is inflation out there? Are you guys feeling that as well?
Like, Israel is the #1 most expensive country in the West. You know, I'm half Swiss, and people are always like, oh, Switzerland is more expensive. I'm like, no. You didn't even know, man. Here, everything is just absurd. I think nominal tax you get here like to 85%. If you calculate the income and you calculate the whatever they take, you know, on other things. Sorry, I'm going to shut this down. But if you calculate the total thing, it's like 85%. So basically, the inflation, only just this holiday, we have Passover. So symbolically in Passover, we become from servants, so we become free. From slaves, we go to freedom. Bullshit, right? But I mean, like, in the end, you can see the prices here are only getting higher. And I can tell you for a fact, people are feeling it, their dreams, like their financial dreams. If I wasn't in crypto, I would not have any financial dreams. Like, honestly, even if I make a lot of money per month, they take like 50%, and then you have the highest gas tax in the West, dude. It's like, what you pay for gas here, it's half is tax. Half, like literally 50% is tax.
That's insane, man. That's nuts. In here in Canada, we're feeling it differently, similar but differently, because our capital gain was, I believe it's our capital gains tax just went up from 50% to 66.6%. Like, you see that number? 66. See, you got that right?
I'm like, it's the Truman Show. It's the Truman Show.
Like, you can't make this stuff up, man. Like, and then, like, I've seen a video going around Twitter as well. I'm not sure if you saw it. This individual Canadian guy was at a bank, and he had used his passport to try and authorize a withdrawal, and the banking agent wouldn't withdraw his money. So they ended up getting a bank manager to come, and they kept saying, no, we can't withdraw. So I'm not sure what happened prior or what happened in the end, but in between that, what I had seen there, just speculating based off of what I could see, was that for some reason they weren't giving him his money, and they kept asking him, what do you need it for? What do you need it for? They're definitely going above and beyond in terms of their banking responsibility. So they're definitely bank, you know. Canada's in a terrible shape. But what's even funnier, with this election coming up, I believe that the same chairperson, Prime Minister Trudeau, is got to be selected again, not elected, selected again, because there's still not enough hurt in the economy. There's still more of the bottom that can be felt, and we need someone like him that can get it to the bottom. And then when the next election comes around, or the forced election, sort of like in the States, you're going to see the hoorah at that point. What's it like out there for you guys?
Oh, I mean, it's a really important point you're driving home. You can tell, I mean, from your intuition, you can really understand that he's being selected, right? You can understand, obviously. So, like, in us, it's the same. Dude, we got the same guy, this Benjamin Netanyahu guy, dude. And you can see his appearance changed like 4 times. It's not even the same guy. I mean, like, I'm like, it's the Truman Show. It's the Truman Show. And I'm actually laughing, man. That's why we were kidding there, man. Because it's the fucking Truman Show. And I love that we can see, like, your people can see it. Like, my people, like, our people can see it. We're all people of the creation. But, I mean, in our place, honestly, dude, this country has never been this bad. I mean, Canada as well. But this is, for us, we're like a young country. And everything is breaking. Everything is leaking. There's no order. There's people dying everywhere. There's war in the north, in the south. And I mean, people are dying, just like 18, 19-year-olds. I mean, people need to remember the Israeli army is compiled from innocent 18 to 21-year-old boys. This is it. It's like people...
I got to ask then, because there's a lot of, I'm not going to say misconceptions, because I don't know. You know, when people, as you say, there's people dying all over the place. Is that like, what's the reality behind that? Because a lot of people in the crypto Twitter community believe that it's all fake. And I don't know what to think, so I just don't. I don't even involve myself in it. I don't want to involve myself in something that I can't further in terms of my thought, because at that point, it's just wasted thought. I don't want to go down those rabbit holes. So like, what is the reality of that?
I mean, honestly, dude, I have no sides. My only side is the creation. I am not affiliated with Judaism, although my birth certificate says Jewish. I really don't care about those brands. They're all brands. Countries are brands. Religions are brands. I mean, if you're not emotionally mature enough or like spiritually to understand it, it's okay. It's on your own path. But just putting out of the way. I'm not, like, if you have an army, you're already lost. Okay, so I'm not protecting. I'm not saying like fighting is good. But people need to get things straight, all right? So terrorists are mercenaries. It doesn't matter if they hate Jews, like Jewish people or Arab. It doesn't matter. They're mercenaries. So somebody's paying them to do it. If they won't get paid, there won't be any action. So there's somebody paying them to do it, but there's also somebody paying the army to do what he's doing. Somebody is paying for their weapons. But it's us. It's taxpayer money going through hoops like this, one way into terrorists, one way into like George Orwell in 1984. It's what's going on here. So basically what I know for a fact to be, and people have, sometimes it's really hard to grasp a concept of like this one truth. So for example, like a one truth for me, if it's comfortable for people to understand, it's for me, but it's the one truth if you have seeked enough, that there is a creation. Particles just don't bump into each other randomly. There is more than the physical. That's like a one truth. You can say what, but here the one truth is in all the world, these black swans are like a door. Once these so-called neo-aristocrats, elite, they open the door, what is going to arise from it is random, is not fully controlled. So what happened in October, they paid the people, right? So somebody from the inside, many people from the inside, let a blind eye to the side. And then they were being paid, and they opened the gates. And once they open the gates, there are consequences that are not controlled. So it's on both sides. So I can tell you for a fact, nobody is a saint here. Israel, to separate from the people, the Israeli establishment is responsible for many of the misfortunes around the world. And I'm saying it as being like a citizen. I really don't care about this country. I care about the people. The country, I really don't care. And we have done many bad things, but just to be fair, you have to understand that the actual people that are in place are 18 to 21-year-old boys after high school. So there's no like mercenary shit going on here. There are many small units that might do like specialized operations like the 9 and the 11, for example, that may be, right, so-called, wink, wink. But the others are just like teenage boys. So we have to understand it's a very sad, pathetic, and never-ending war.
The way you described that and illustrated that, man, I could visualize that like really, really well. So I just want to get back to our digital currency conversation. Since we're still, I mean, it all works hand in hand here. And with all these displaced individuals now getting shepherded from the north and shepherded from the south, and squeezed into the center here of all things, there are a lot of asylum seekers or a lot of people who do not have, I want to say ID now, do not have access to cash, access to money, access to anything. So they're perfect people to be onboarded in terms of the digital economy now. I don't even want to say being created. It's like it's here. It's literally here. That's why they're able to give out all these digital dollars, stablecoins. Stablecoins is coming into reality June 30th, 2024. And then Micah steps into reality on the stage in December 30th, 2024. And then literally 2 days later, BIS's framework comes out that states the prudential treatment of crypto assets, states that this is now the global overarching framework. So what I'm trying to get at here is the digital shekel. What's the current you guys use there? Shekel, correct?
Yes. For now.
Okay. So the digital shekel, in terms of how the Central Bank of Israel, I don't remember the name of it, but the Central Bank of Israel is utilizing it. They're going to be utilizing it as like coupons, essentially. So now, because you don't have access to money, we're not going to give you money per se, but we're going to give you a coupon through what looks as money, air tokens, fiat dollars, Cbdc, and you can use that to go do laundry. You can use that to go buy food. And we've all heard that there's going to be some form of control on there. The control in terms of what you can and can't buy, the control on when you can use it, because again, it's like a coupon as opposed to cash. It's fiat air tokens, essentially. If you've heard, have you heard? Don't you? Have you? What have you heard? What have you heard out there, man? Like, what have you seen at these?
I want to like drill it home. So Israel, we have this very apparent surface thing, which is like an illusion, like every other country. But deep in Israel, man, like you got all the dark secrets of all these families and all this. Dude, like people don't know this country was given by a Rothschild. People don't get it. Israel in the Bible is in your head. It's in your consciousness. The place is like selling you this kind of a Superman movie, right? This is a franchise. They wanted a little bit of place right here so they can manipulate the area. So this is like all the little naive little Jewish people, who most of them are not Jewish, by the way. They were like tricked into believing into something and a stand over here, right? But what I'm saying, guys, is very triggering for most Israelis, right? So you have to understand, I'm being completely blunt. So what's happening here is that they're controlling here 100%. We already have, Mr. Man, get this, we have a biometric ID as mandatory this year. So this is done. You can get
when is that happening this year? Taking place when, do you know?
I think it's kind of this summer. I'll let you know for a fact. I can really ASAP check it, but it's 2024. I was actually booking my, you know what? It's even in effect, I think. I think it's in effect. I booked my appointment, and they said there was no option. It's like biometric ID is as a must. It's a requirement. So this is what I'm saying, man. Israel, everything is ready. They're just gonna tear this country a little bit more apart, and then when people are broken, just a little bit more, because we're already almost there. I'll be honest with you. People are not sleeping. People are just, they're trying to wake up, but it's very slow. It's very clumsy. They always bring you like a scapegoat. Oh, it's the religious people. Oh, it's the Arabic people. Oh, we don't have enough money. We can't print more. Blah blah blah. And then they print for weapons, right? So it's already ready. It's already ready. And I'm very much intrigued how it's going to be introduced. And I really hope that it's not going to be painful, but,
That's wild. I started to take a dive into the Canadian economy, or the Canadian Finance 2024 budget that Chrystia Freeland had put together. I started to look into that, but haven't really dove deep into that. And I think right now would be a wise time to do it, because we're heading into the summer for this budget now, to see what they're allocating money to. Because in these thick ass documents that they put out, like 1,000-page documents, on page 854, subsection this, there's that one line that's like, wow, what is this gonna do with that? And they hide a lot. They hide a lot of things like that in Canada. I'm sure it's the same for you guys out there too. That's how they get away with a lot of that nonsense that they do.
This is the system. I mean, it's very apparent for people with eyes to see and ears to hear. Why is law and justice so complicated? Why is accounting and finance hidden? Because it's not for you, man. It's not for you. It's for the ones who created it to know the loophole. This is exactly what these documents. If you, Mr. Man, wouldn't be going through these documents and finding this kind of little treasure, nobody would have done it except for the people who put it there, right? So this is it's like kind of a labyrinth game, and I want to give you a little bit more of an in-depth speculation, because what is going on in Israel specifically to crypto? I mean, we do have the local currency, but the local currency has been dismantled many times in the past, like 2 times already, like in the 70s. And it always got me wondering. I mean, the Canadian dollar, I'm not really super aware of what's going on, But we have this kind of narrative of consolidation into, I don't know, maybe this dollar or maybe some other things. But I'm not sure the small players are going to be there to survive, like with the local currency. I'm not so sure. And as Israel is kind of this McDonald's office of America here. Really? People don't know. I mean, people think like the Zionism and stuff. Zionism doesn't have to do anything with like Jewish people. It's more of this kind of cult or set of ideas, right? So it's not Jewish. I mean, they say Biden is a great Zionist, right? So I mean, America and Israel are both like McDonald's offices, right? McDonald's shops. And I don't know. What do you think about it? Honestly, I want to ask you, what do you think? Because how do you see the Canadian dollars? Does it seem strong? Man, our place is like people going bankrupt and the stock market's in lows, Do you think it makes sense to maybe the shekel to fall apart and use dollar? I don't know, man.
So in terms of the Canadian dollar, the only company that I've seen so far is this company called Stablecorp. And the way to get this stablecoin is called QCAD, and they operate on the Algorand, Stellar, and Ethereum ecosystem. Everything's always on Ethereum because Ethereum is the technical standard as stated by the BIS and the market infrastructure individuals such as CPMI. But the Canadian dollar itself, the digital dollar, what I've seen in terms of treasuries now, Canada doesn't have any gold. We sold off all of our gold in 2016. So our dollar is literally in government we trust. It's 100% air token. And most people don't know. I grew up in the sense that, $5 is $5, not thinking that there's economics behind that. Just I hold this and this thing says it's worth $5 because that's what the face says. There's economics behind that. So with that being said, I believe that Stablecorp, I have to look into this again, but Stablecorp's treasuries are Canadian fiat, and as well as U.S. treasuries as well, because we don't have anything other than fiat. So in a sense, we're making a tokenized deposit. You deposit that, and then there's your stable coin one-to-one value at that point. But what else gives us our stable value?
Yeah, it's a question.
We don't have any stable mechanism, so we have to be pegged to something else, like a U.S. dollar or somebody else's goal somewhere else, because we don't have an effective stabilization mechanism, which means there's a lot more in Canada that can happen to hurt the economy, to weaken the dollar, to force people into these digital dollars that are coming.
Yes, exactly. That's why I asked the question. And you know what I'm thinking, Mr. Man? Honestly, it's been kind of brewed up, and you were talking about it. I'm not investing anything. Everything is from the creation. That the true CBDC, this is what people don't get it. I don't think they don't get it. The true CBDC are stablecoin. Why? Because what is the difference between a central bank digital currency and a stablecoin? The technical element being controlled directly by the central bank. But the regulation is going to be controlled by the central bank as well. So if I got a stablecoin, so essentially it's like a trade-off. They're going to say, all right, so we were talking about this CBDC thing and it's really scary and blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's a stablecoin. So people are going to think that this is kind of harmless. The regulations, which is manipulation, can do. And what I'm thinking about with the regulation of stablecoin, that there might be an incentive for a US dollar stablecoin kind of gold rush, So maybe people in Israel, they will be, because dude, it's exactly the same as us. I won't claim that I know how much gold we have. I think nobody actually knows because these countries, dude, we have over our justice, like the Supreme Court in Israel, okay? Imagine a building. The Supreme Court in Israel. On top of the Supreme Court, you got the pyramid, man. On top of it, with the eye and the shebang and everything. I'm not kidding. You can search it up in Google. I'm not kidding. This is very deep stuff here. It's like on the bill of the US dollar. This is very apparent. We got places in cities like called the Freemasons. All this kind of weird stuff, dude. So I'm saying I cannot know, but all I'm thinking is that there is a reason that stablecoins are going in first. There is a reason, for example, that Ripple, and by the way, full disclosure, I don't touch BTC, I don't touch Ethereum, I do the ISO coins, I do the utility, and I'm gonna sync with the boat if I have to. I just can't do it. I just can't do like this and be blind in here. So I mean, I gotta wonder. And honestly, I'm very excited because I think we're heading into this kind of, until the next April I think is gonna be very, very, very spicy times and the elections, and we're gonna see just this Netflix series where all in the first row people. So you gotta clap give yourself a clap, give yourself a tap on the shoulder, because it doesn't matter if we cash out or not. It just matters that we are actually connected. Like, this is not crazy people talking. We're actually connected. So the crypto shows you the universe, right? Mr. But what do you think? I mean, did you learn new stuff about this reality because of crypto? Honestly, man.
Man, crypto was part of my awakening. I mean, you and I are literally in two separate parts of this world, and we managed to connect with similar ideologies based on some structures that we happen to come across and find similarities between it. So in terms of what you're talking about with stablecoins and CBDCs in the US, President Trump, the selected individual. Again, I don't believe in the election stuff. I believe in selection stuff. People get into position when the time is right. So I was listening to Cecilia Skingsley. She is the head of the BIS hubs. And then we have Augustine Karsten, who is the GM of the BIS. And Cecilia Skingsley was saying that private money always comes before the public money. Private money being money like USDC, Tether, whatever you want out there. And then you have the CBDCs coming in afterwards, the public money coming in. And the reason that these CBDCs or the CBDC moniker will no longer exist, in Project Aurum, the way they have this written down, they call it a CBDC-backed stablecoin. So the CBDC gets its value by wrapping a stablecoin like wrap Bitcoin, wrap ETH. I'm sure you've heard that term. Yes. Because you have that thing wrapped now, what they say is this new product is now known as a stablecoin. That's what it is. It's just a stablecoin. So it drops the whole CBDC moniker. So now when you start reading about stablecoins, it'll just be that one thing you read about. But don't forget, there's a backing behind that. But eventually, as life continues to go on, the people below you and I don't mean that in terms of intelligence. I mean in terms of hierarchy and understanding. They're never going to hear the term CBDC. They're never going to hear the term stablecoin. They're just going to get the digital shekel, the digital Canadian dollar, the digital US dollar. That's all they're going to know. That's all they're going to know.
Do you think I'm following up on that? Do you think they're going to know about XRP or HBAR or Casper? Do you think they're going to know about? This is the really interesting question. Do you think, honestly?
Not immediately. There's going to be some people who find their way through and who swim through the murky water and come out successful with that. Yeah. But I mean, once these new companies, so you have like the BlackRocks, the early movers, just came out yesterday, so they're going to be tokenizing money market funds on Hedera each hour. Right? So that's huge. Now, once these big people, Franklin Templeton, stake their claim on Stellar as well, now people are going to be building on top of those and on top of those and top on top on top on top until it's going to be so murky. And then we, on this level, this playing field here, are going to be like, oh man, Nike's so high up there. Let's get some Nike stuff. Nike is like, like one level above us. Meanwhile, you and I are looking into things levels up like BlackRock and now these digital currencies that are the base layers for top tier companies. And in regards to BTC, Bitcoin, as you were saying, people think and they assume they want to get out of this matrix by jumping onto Bitcoin outside of the monetary system. I don't know who anybody thinks they are. I don't know how you think you're going to outsmart the money people. The money people are the ones who inject that thought into our heads and tell you what money is and what you need to use for money. And the social construct utilizes that as money. So if people think they're going to take their Bitcoin and go and spend it outside of this economic global square scheme, technically speaking or legally speaking, that is now outside of the bank's purview. So now you're using money outside of what the bank regulates. So unless the banking tells you that peer-to-peer can exist, and as where we stand right now, it doesn't even look like that because harboring and holding their Bitcoin, then you have companies like BlackRock, VanEck, Fidelity, ARK Investment making ETFs. What is that? Mom and pop investments for long-term retirements. Not a peer-to-peer anymore. Now it's becoming a store of wealth or whatever you want to call it. Other than that, Bitcoin has no stability to it.
I'm like, yeah, you got to do this. Oh man, I mean, you dropped some really good stuff. I hope our listener from yours, they know it, but like mine, I mean, with the Cbdc and the stable coin backing, that this is crucial, and how we're going to get buried. And I do think, honestly, like regarding the Bitcoin thing first, dude, this is the main point, I think, of this whole journey. It's more than money. It's about this being sovereignly conscious. And what happens with people is that they half awake, and it's like, oh, banking's bad, Bitcoin. So what happens is that blue pill, red pill, they're not in the clear pill. They're not in the middle path. And when you're doing it, you're still going and following the Pied Piper. So this is the main thing people need to understand. I'm not saying, and we have this amazing, by the way, I'm sure you heard it, amazing 20 minutes crypto era, and some people posted it, of Charles Hoskinson talking about Bitcoin. And he shared. I mean, people do not realize that as a governance of the code of Bitcoin is not decentralized. There are entities and ways of suffocating this ecosystem and making it very one-sided. And then this is why we have XRP and Cardano and other stuff. I mean, whatever invested, because Bitcoin, there's no problem with it. But if it would have been Bitcoin, it would have already been. This is the it's the only one. If it's the only one, where is it, motherfuckers? It's like a fucking 15 years. But we're seeing all these companies doing it. And I mean, really, with the bearing of this stuff, dude, I have this in mind, and I think it's analogous to people that actually know about finance and people who don't. So it's going to be a mix of like this new version of finance tech people. So you are going to be one of those people that can sit around and discuss these intrinsic mechanisms, but the regular person will be at, how you said, Nike, he will be at City's infrastructure here. But underneath, there's going to be the interledger, the overledger, the XRP, the quant, the XDC, this algorithm, whatever. You feel me, right?
Mm-hmm. And I totally feel you. And just to add on to the whole Bitcoin stuff we're talking about now, people, I don't understand it, how people don't realize it yet, but they might not even understand it. But with these Bitcoin halvings, what actually happens? The miners' fees get reduced by half. So they went from, did they just go to 625, or was it 3 something? Either way, they had dropped down half in terms of what they are now taking in as fees for mining Bitcoin. So that being said, eventually we're going to get to a point where these miners, there's no incentive for them to mine. At that point, all the Bitcoin will be out there. What kind of an uneven playing field is that? Are people trading Bitcoin back and forth for something? No, nobody's trading Bitcoin back and forth because no one wants that dirty fiat money. Also, with Bitcoin, I lost my train of thought. That happens every now and then.
I mean, like, you are spot on, man. I think, first of all, we do know that it's mostly wash trading, but this entire market is fake and manipulated, right? But I mean, like the Bitcoin thing, and honestly, guys, I'm not a maxi. I'll be honest. I know I'm always honest. I share the exact portfolio allocation with my community. I share my exit plan with my community. I share everything. Just take it. If we make the millions, let's fucking go. If not, you can say I charged you for it, right? But honestly, dude, I'm saying I got 40% of my bag in XRP. Right, 40% of my bag. So I'm not a maxi. I got a lot of XRP, mainly because I understand the conspiracies behind it, the technical stuff. But I mean, the Bitcoin thing, I mean, everything just does not make sense. You were talking about the mining. The only fact that it's getting harder to mine means it's getting more centralized. The basic fact of it being harder to mine, and you need more cash, more capital, more energy. You need to be the big fish to get this thing. And this is
exactly. So with that being said, think about this. This is where I was going. So think about this now. With the fees being reduced, these small mom and pop miners cannot produce anymore. They are either done and out of the picture, or they get purchased and consolidated now. So it continuously gets consolidated, till you get one or two giant conglomerates operating that. And because the price of operating such heavy working miners is getting higher in Canada and US in terms of our energy costs now, our miners going off seas to places like Argentina, to Belize, to Peru, to Nicaragua, to Africa, to produce more Bitcoin, or to mine more Bitcoin. And at that point, as it begins to creep up there as well, are they turning to green energy to do that? That's green photo proof.
And you know what? You know what's funny? This thing, because what does this? You did it like with the hands, and I do like when people talk, when they do stuff with the hands, it gets more into your head. I mean, with the consolidation thing, what does this remind you, people? Doesn't it remind you about what's happening in the finance sector? It's the same basic thing. You can see it a miles away. It's so obvious. But people, dude, this is what we're talking about, consciousness sovereignty. This is the main thing about the crypto thing. I don't mean the money, put it aside. If you got your consciousness and you're not saying, oh, I'm a lawyer, that's me. Oh, I'm in this box. Oh, when you got this thing, like nothing can beat you because whatever happens, you know you're protected. And I mean, the thing with the Bitcoin thing, you can invest in Bitcoin ROI-wise. I mean, I wouldn't do that. But in the end, when Mr. Man is presenting it to you, this very advanced concept, this very advanced, it's so advanced that it's like discussing the aroma of a 100-year-old wine. This is very advanced stuff that he's talking with the Cbdc. That this is not for everybody. And this is how you know Bitcoin is a distraction. Because the amount of complexity needed to actually throw this thing together, this entire system of manipulation and little piggies, all eating from the same bucket. It's insane. It's insane. You know, I heard like this Ripple thing, and Naveen Gupta was saying, like they had this pilot, whatever, 12 banks needed like 140 relationships. So what's about 20,000 banks? Huh? And you were telling me, like this magic tooth fairy named Satoshi Nakamoto is gonna just, you know, it's all thing, or it's gonna connect everything. I hear tooth. Are you buying like a skinny jeans with holes in it and you're patching it up and all like, what the fuck?
Oh my god! Don't! Oh my gosh! This here, this. Oh my gosh, yeah. Justin, my man. You summed it up. Like you just, this, I think we should end on this. This was the perfect, man. I like how we came from the political stuff to the somewhat cryptocurrencies, then came back to political and right back down to digital, ended up with Bitcoin. As the Tooth Fairy, as the Santa Claus and Easter Bunny, all currencies out there. Jester, enough respect, mad love for you, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next ones. Don't leave this call. I'm going to just end this here for everybody. Again, everybody, if you found value, please subscribe to my channel, Mr. Man. Check out Crypto Jester and his community. Help him grow his community and share what he presents as well. If you're into Hebrew, he is one of the only individuals that spits facts. If you think him and I can chat like this on platform, wait till you see what he offers in his community. Love you guys. Catch you on the next one.
Love and light, guys. Appreciate you.
Roger, 0G, and I feel fine. Lift off and the clock has started.
לא הייתה נחיתה לירח, אני אומר לך את זה, חד משמעית. לא הייתה נחיתה לירח, אני אומר לך את זה, חד משמעית. זה כל כך קל לסובב אותך, וכל כך קל לסבך אותך, וזה בכלל לא הולם אותך, אדום. זה כל כך קל להפחיד אותך, ואין בכלל שאלות איתך, המקולקל מקלל אותך, היום. אז זה קשה, אתה על אוטומט, מרגיש השם פרם מבוית, אתה מתקשר אבל לא נקלט, עד שיתאפשר תחפש מקלט, תחפש מצב, תחפש מקום, עכשיו תחפש חלום, תחפש מהר יותר, גם אם לא ממש חסר. הצד הלא הוא הצד היפה, הצד הלא הוא הצד היפה. לא היה ראש, לא היה סוף, לא היה ים, לא היה חוף, לא היה חם, לא היה קר, לא היה סכום, לא היה קרב, לא היה שיר, לא היה סי, לא היה קיר, לא היה רע, לא היה טוב.
אז זה קשה, אתה על אוטומט, מרגיש השם פרם מבוית, אתה מתקשר אבל לא נקלט, עד שיתאפשר תחפש מקלט, תחפש מצב, תחפש מקום, עכשיו תחפש חלום, תחפש מהר יותר, גם אם לא ממש חסר.
הצד הלא מואר הוא הצד היפה, הצד הלא מואר הוא הצד היפה. לא הייתה נחיתה לירח, אני אומר לך את זה חד משמעית,
תחפש מקום, עכשיו תחפש חלום.
לא הייתה נחיתה לירח, אני אומר לך את זה חד משמעית,
תחפש מקום, עכשיו תחפש חלום.
לא הייתה נחיתה לירח, אני אומר לך את זה חד משמעית. הצד הלא מואר הוא הצד היפה,
תחפש מקלט, תחפש מצב, תחפש מקום, תחפש חלום.
הצד הלא מואר
תחפש מקום, עכשיו תחפש חלום.
הצד הלא הוא הצד
Lift off and the clock has started. Roger, 0G, and I feel fine. Lift off and the clock has started.
לא הייתה נחיתה לירח, אני אומר לך את זה חד משמעית. לא הייתה נחיתה לירח, אני אומר לך את זה חד משמעית.
Lift off and the clock has started.
זה כל כך קל לסובב אותך, וכל כך קל לסבך אותך, וזה בכלל לא הולם אותך, אדום.
Lift off and the clock has started.
זה כל כך קל להפחיד אותך, ואין בכלל שאלות איתך, המקולקל מקלל אותך, היום. אז זה קשה, אתה על אוטומט, מרגיש השם פרם מבוית, אתה מתקשר אבל לא נקלט, עד שיתאפשר תחפש מקלט, תחפש מצב, תחפש מקום, עכשיו תחפש חלום, תחפש מהר יותר, גם אם לא ממש חסר.
הצד הלא מואר הוא הצד היפה, הצד הלא מואר הוא הצד היפה. לא הייתה נחיתה לירח, אני אומר לך את זה חד משמעית,
תחפש מקום, עכשיו תחפש חלום.
לא הייתה נחיתה לירח, אני אומר לך את זה חד משמעית,
תחפש מקום, עכשיו תחפש חלום.
לא הייתה נחיתה לירח, אני אומר לך את זה חד משמעית. הצד הלא מואר הוא הצד היפה,
תחפש מקלט, תחפש מצב, תחפש מקום, תחפש חלום.
Lift off and the clock has started.
לא היה ראש, לא היה סוף, לא היה ים, לא היה חוף, לא היה חם, לא היה קר, לא היה סכום, לא היה קרב, לא היה שיר, לא היה סי, לא היה קיר, לא היה רע, לא היה טוב.
אז זה קשה, אתה על אוטומט, מרגיש השם פרם מבוית, אתה מתקשר אבל לא נקלט, עד שיתאפשר תחפש מקלט, תחפש מצב, תחפש מקום, עכשיו תחפש חלום, תחפש מהר יותר, גם אם לא ממש חסר.
הצד הלא מואר